Hi there, welcome. We just finished the Grand Forest Tournament Rookie Division. We're going to start a new tournament this week called a 9-hole cup. So I want to get this content put out while it's still fairly fresh in my mind. And this particular course can be played on, well, we actually played this course most recently with the Redwood Cup or the Extreme Hills. So if you want to do a search under my past videos, just type in Redwood Cup or Extreme Hills. You could also type in Eagle Peak or Sequoia Creek. It all depends on how I labeled the videos, but I'm gonna directly label them on the course now. Instead of the name of the course, like Grand Forest, I'm going to name them Sequoia Creek or Eagle Creek or Eagle Peak, so a person can find them better through the search engines. So anyways, we just finished this tournament. Shot a 35 in the final round, which is pretty good. Opening round, shot a 32 under, and shot 16 under in qualifications. So qualifications was 16, then we shot 32, then we shot minus 35. So we gradually improved, which is good. It was played this tournament in pro was much harder than rookie division. I seem to do good on this. I know when we had the Redwood Cup, I did well on the Redwood Cup as well. So, but I look at the competition. We had a couple of people at 32. At one time I was thinking, well, I'd be happy to shoot 32. I'd be happy to be in the top 3. But things just started clicking, especially in the back 9 there. Things started clicking real good and just kept going. Kind of lucked out. But played pretty good. So I'm going to put out these holes, how I played these holes, and for future reference, for future tournaments, because we're always going to have these holes played over again. The winds might be a little bit different, and they might change the rules on the green and stuff like that, but some content out there is better than no content. The guy's got to start somewhere, and this would be a good starting point for future tournaments. So let's put out hole number 1 here. So this is hole number 1. As I mentioned, Sequoia Creek 4B. That's hole 1. Hole 3 is Eagle Peak. So it was a mixture between Sequoia Creek and Eagle Peak. So if you're doing the search engine, I'm going to name this Sequoia Creek for hole number 1. So it'll be easier to find. So here's like the reason I'm doing this as well is that we played this hole several times in previous tournaments, and I played it a different way. So if you want to choose the other way I played it, all you do is type it in and look at my past videos, and you can see this way, because this way might not work for you. You might not have an extra mile 8. You know, you might have a lower club. If you do, there's several choices you can do. If you have a lower club, you can use a power 4 ball or a power 5 ball and still replicate this shot, still duplicate this shot. You might even get there with an extra mile 7. Like, I don't know, I never tried it, but it worked out for this tournament. So I basically stuck with this shot and stayed with it. So you don't want to switch back and forth between what you're doing. Like I did that before in the past, and it can kind of throw you off. So like I mentioned, Sequoia Creek, I played this a different way in previous tournaments. I played a jump shot, so we jumped over top of the rough and we got it to that first pad. It still takes 2 shots to get to the flag regardless, but I figured this shot would be easier. The second shot would be easier to go on this route, so that's why I chose this route. The first shot's harder, but the second shot's easier. The reason this first shot's harder is because you have to overpower this shot. And I overpowered this shot with a Kingmaker in the final round, but in the opening round I just chose a Titan ball. The reason I went with the Kingmaker is because it slows down the wind. You want the wind to be as slow as possible, especially when you're hitting into overpower. And that's what we have to do here. We have to go full overpower, and you can see how much curl I put in. Originally I was going with a half a ball curl, but what I found is if you great ball it to the left, you could end up in that sand trap. So what I did is just give it a little bit more curl just to be safe. Sure, it puts us a little bit further away from that hole, but that little difference I would sooner have than being in that sand trap on a great shot to the left. So this is actually a good setup. Like I said, full overpower. You can see what curl I've given into it, and you can see the setup. This is what you want to do with the setup with this type of wind. You can see the angle of the wind. So what I'm doing, I'm setting it up when I'm pushing the target into overpower, And what I do is I have the yellow pretty close to halfway inside the rough. Watch me push it up. See the yellow target? It's about halfway inside the rough there, from edge to bullseye. And you can see the curl. And try to hit great, or great left, or great right I should say, or perfect is fine with this shot. Even a little bit great left, because I put more curl into this, is still fine. So if you want, you can mark down the yardage, 387 I believe it was. Yeah, 387, mark that down if you want. So if you stay consistent and hit it around 387 every time, you know exactly what the second shot's going to be. But if you don't, then you're going to have to check that second shot every time. I will show you that second shot. And here is that second shot. I believe I checked my second shot because I never marked down my yardages, never had a pen or anything. So as you can see, I'm checking here. 100% is up there. So I figured this is around 75% of the club. Halfway between mid and max is what I believe I went here. And this here is plus 10% is what I went. Plus 10% elevation with this shot. Just because you got a little bit of a side wind, and I believe it's a little bit downhill. And basically we were given no spin on this. No front spin, no back spin. I know if you put back spin on it, it might stop, especially when we're close to the flag here. So I didn't want to give it any spin whatsoever. Just hit that directly right into the hole. Because the green does play a little bit uphill there. So you got to be careful of that. So yeah, just directly into the hole, no spin, plus 10% elevation. So that's hole number 1. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.